Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. We believe in trade. We love trade. The funny thing about trade is that very often it's found that, at least in the US, exporters tend to have their initial exports to be accidental. And then some of them actually together a plan, and then some of them actually are successful. And so, certainly, our goal is maybe two things. One is, hey, accidents happen. That's a good thing. Hopefully, we can get more companies be more strategic, not just in the US, but around the world in terms of approaching the world. Most opportunities anywhere are outside our own region, 99+%. So why not go after those things that are available to us? And being more strategic is important. So we have some extraordinary speakers today that you're going to learn from and hopefully connect with if you haven't already. And so we are starting today. This is our monthly exporting, importing, foreign direct investment conversation. A little bit of a special one because we're kicking off World Trade Week, which I understand, and probably Bill Edwards will have a little more context of this, but I believe the United States government has set this as World Trade Month for quite a number of years. I'm not sure we've ever done a World Trade Month, and so we are all in this year, having our own events and supporting other events, including Bill's World Trade Week in Orange County on May 7th. I'm looking forward to that, Bill, next Thursday. We also have a penultimate event this month. That's May 28th with multiple speakers. It's a special 2-hour Globinar with our vice chairs, Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, who ran Thunderbird School of Global Management for 8 years. And he's just an extraordinary leader. And not to hold my beer, but Frances Tesmer is probably the most global person that I know other than Sanjeev. She is also a vice chair of Global Chamber on our Global Council, and they will be leading off our conversation on the 28th. Don't miss that. That is going to be extraordinary. Don't miss the next few minutes because these 10 speakers will be kicking off first with Bill Edwards. Bill Edwards always gets to go first because I still haven't met anyone as knowledgeable about global trade as Bill. And he has 50 years of experience in global trade. Unbelievable. Bill, thank you for your leadership. You are the District Export Chair, District Export Council Chair for Southern California. You also serve on the advisory board for Global Chamber Los Angeles, and multiple affiliations, along with supporting clients growing globally. Your biweekly newsletter is a must read. What would you like to share, Bill, to kick us off?
Okay. Whoops. Where did it go? Do you see a chart, Middle East dependence, oil dependency?
We do.
Okay.
I think you were going to talk a little bit about oil and how it's impacting our lives.
Well, oil dependency is impacting countries around the world. And I've got two slides to show, not very much, but this is pretty astounding, the Middle East oil dependency by country. Look at Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea. It's really making a huge negative impact on their economies. They're having to search for new sources of crude. And in fact, there are, according to about 3 days ago, 64 Asian and Middle East tankers heading for the Gulf Coast of the United States to export American oil. You can see that we go all the way down to the United States, which imports 8% of its oil supply is Middle Eastern. You might say, well, why is that? Two reasons really quickly. One is the quality of Middle Eastern crude is needed for Gulf Mexico refineries. But the biggest need for Middle Eastern oil is here in California because we import about 35% of our oil from the Middle East, which is not a good thing. So you can see some of these countries are really heavily impacted by the fact that they can't get oil right now. But then as we slide down here, look at the Americas. The Americas are largely independent of Middle East oil and gas. Really not impacted very much at all. Canada a little bit for East Coast refineries, but really not really a huge impact to the economy. So the only part of the world where the Middle East dependency, oil dependency, is not a major problem right now is the Americas. And everywhere else has got a problem. So I just wanted to share a couple of slides and tell you that that is having a big impact on the ability to do business in various countries. There's not a lot of new investment going on when you can't get the oil to run your trucks. And here's a tidbit of information. U.S. gallon of diesel in London is $11 US. That's my input. Not very positive, but that's it.
That's a little bit scary. Anybody have any questions for Bill or any
Uh,
thoughts?
Bill, do you mind? I know it's $11 per diesel in the UK, but what do you know what an ordinary price of gasoline for regular gasoline is in the UK or no? In comparison,
Uh, no, I don't have that.
that's all right.
A lot of cars in the UK and Europe run on diesel, Mike,
Okay,
as opposed to regular gasoline. So it's a
yeah.
much bigger challenge. Yeah.
We see the diesel prices here and the regular gas prices here, and that's why I was asking. Sorry.
And anybody in the audience in the UK or have a sense of that gas price? Probably your what pounds per liter is probably
Yeah,
what sold.
that's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Never mind.
Recording in progress.
thank you, Bill, for kicking us off. We will continue to go around the room. This is amongst the
Doug,
changes.
Doug, sorry, before you move on, Bill, I'm on the District Export Council for Arizona, as is Doug too. I don't get your newsletter, I guess, and I'd like to get on it. Thanks.
I will. I'm trying to get into the chat right now. I can only get into the chat for host and panelists, but I'll have Mila fix that for me, and I'll give you the link.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
So that's thank you for that a bit of a segue there because this is our first event where we apparently have a split between panelists and attendees, and so this was our first try. I I sent an urgent email to Mila yesterday because I recognized there were two different links between panelists and and folks who were just registering for the event. So this is a little bit of a learning process for us until now. There's been one link that we've shared to everyone, so we need to kind of figure out how we're going to do this going forward. The fact that there might be two different chat areas, we'll probably either have to manage or just do something along the way. So you'll notice when you go into the Global Chamber agenda uh, online that the events look a little bit different, and that's because we have a new system. We're putting a system that is easier to use generally to sign up. The challenge is it looks like it's changing a little bit of the dynamics of how we're working here. So we'll figure that out. If you have any ideas or thoughts, if you're familiar with what's going on here, we're always happy to hear more. I also recommend that you put your information in the chat area. Feel free to use the chat to connect up with each other. If you're a member of Global Chamber, we generally recommend putting an asterisk in front of your name and ideally put your company name. I see in the attendees, it says, like for instance, there's several speakers that are in there. And like Nima, it says Nima Maleli talking permitted. So that's good. I'm glad talking is permitted actually it looks like for all of you. That's a good thing because we want to have that. In fact, let's start next with Nima. Nima's in Dar es Salaam. She's putting together a pretty spectacular event in October, I believe 9th and 10th. And Nima, I saw your WhatsApp today with some additional information. Do you have some information that you'd like to share about what's going on in Africa and particularly Tanzania?
Oh,
Thank you, Doug. I was sent out and then I'm now back. Um, Thank you. I have a guest speaker also that I invited, the CEO of Zanzibar Investment Promotion. I believe he is in already. I don't know if you've seen him.
Okay. What was the name again? I'm sorry. Are you here?
Mr. Mr. Saleh.
Mr. Saleh, are you here? I don't see him. Are you as an attendee able to see the attendee list?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. So that's another little learning. So Mila, we have some learnings to do from this one. This one is fun. I don't see that name here. So if Mr. Saleh, you are available, let us know, text us in, and we'll figure out a way to have you speak.
I think he's trying to join something.
Oh,
He's
okay.
asking for an ID. Yeah. But
Okay.
I'll continue while we are waiting for him.
Okay. Thank you.
So there's a lot going on in Africa. We have just finished a summit in Nairobi, Kenya. I hope my brother Brandon is here. Where we had two presidents, president of Uganda and Kenya, and also we had Aliko Dangote. So when I was hearing about oil prices going up, but we see Aliko Dangote being interested in building a refinery in Tanzania. So the three countries want to come up together and build a refinery in Tanzania in a coastal region called Tanga. And I think this is the second largest, apart from the one that he has built in Nigeria. And I think this is a great positioning, looking at how Tanzania is. Now Tanzania is a logistic, is emerging as a trade and logistic gateway. Is currently undergoing economic transformation. We are seeing major investment infrastructure, especially in railways, ports, and industrial corridors. We're seeing the standard gauge railway and port expansion are not just national projects, they are regional trade enablers. So these are connecting landlocked countries like Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and DRC to global markets. But beyond infrastructure, there's a big opportunity. Tanzania is also positioning itself as a gateway for East Africa and Central Africa, and also the SADC regions. In translating, going to the SADC region, we are now organizing a big conference in October 8th and 9th in Namibia, where we are going soon to receive, we know the president is really interested to be the guest of honor, so we are waiting for her confirmation. But we know Namibia is rich in economy. Right now, it's very strong in the SADC region, and we want to position it as a gateway for South African countries. So we know Namibia is stable economy with strong potential in mining, fisheries, tourism, and increasingly energy transformation through oil and green hydrogen. So this positions Namibia as a future energy and resource exporter within Southern Africa and beyond. But like many African economies, the challenges for Namibia are clear. How do we move from exporting raw resources to creating value locally? So many African countries now, we are transitioning from just exporting raw materials, but going into processing and value addition part, so that we can ensure young generation creation of jobs, but also sustainability in the future. So this is what I have to share. I hope Saleh will be able to join and share a um, summit that is happening this June in Zanzibar. There are a lot of opportunities in Zanzibar right now. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much. I don't see that he's joined, but hopefully by the end of the program we'll have some information. And if you do have some information about that event in Zanzibar in June, please share that, Nima. And also, is there anything up online for the October 8th, 9th yet, or is that still coming?
It's coming within the 2 weeks. We're just finalizing some few things with the government of Namibia before going live. But the website and everything is ready.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm actually logged on twice here, and I'm logged on as a panelist, and I'm logged on as in the audience, and I can see the audience and the panelists in both. And so those of you that are in the audience, definitely interested after this program to understand more about what you see, because it's probably our Zoom account. I'm probably seeing something a little different than you might see. Our goal certainly is for you to connect up with each other, to share your information in the chat and have information going back and forth between all of you. So hopefully that's happening. And if it's not, sorry about that. We'll get that fixed. One of everybody in the global tribe is amazing, and one of the really wonderful people that I've had the honor to meet is Izzy Heiken. And I remember very vividly when I think met him for the first time at Skysong, of all places, where we started our adventures with Global Chamber 10, 11 years ago. That's in Scottsdale, Arizona, the International Center on Arizona State University. He ended up putting his company as he landed in the US at Skysong, and he was so positive and so many different great opportunities, and subsequently he has moved back to actually to Portugal now, and he has a solution to what Bill was talking about earlier about the Middle East oil. He leads multiple ventures, including a very innovative logistics company. Izzy, I was talking about you the other day because we were onboarding a member from Jordan, and a lot of your activity has been Israel, Palestine, Jordan, right? ISPALJO, is that what that
Right.
stands for, I think? And so, but you work across the Middle East, across the Gulf states, and around the world. What would you like to share? And please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's a big honor to be here. My name is Izzy Haikin, and I live in Portugal right now, but I'm an Israeli. I have a company called ISPALJO, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Middle East Trade Connections. We specialized in supply chain all over the Middle East. We have 3 offices in Israel, in Jordan since 2017, and in Portugal 2022. We have agents all over the Middle East, Egypt, Jordan, of course, Turkey, UAE. We work in the UAE since 2015, way before Abraham Accords, and it's very important for us to be known in the Middle East. Our clients are divided into 2. We have the private clients, and we have our custom clearance agencies and freight forwarding companies that we are the front of them in the Middle East because of our knowledge. And I am a member of the IMEC, India Middle East Corridor, the Israeli Jordanian group to solve these routes. And I would like to talk about the situation in the Middle East during the past 2 years with the Houthis and Hormuz, of course, and all the new routes that we have to these days. And my company specialized in finding routes so the trade will will continue, will move on, and uh, we can bypass many challenges and obstacles that happens, unfortunately happens around us in the Middle East. However, it's not just to Israel or to Jordan. We have routes to Syria, Turkey, by land, of course, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and we provided services all over the Arab countries and to the US and to Europe, of course. Um, in addition, we I would like to thank the previous speaker from Africa, from Dar es Salaam. It was very important to me to hear that because we came to Uganda 3 months ago to establish um, a coffee factory or coffee business with the Italian. So we're connecting people around the world, Uganda with Italy, and I was in Morocco 2 months ago to to have a brainstorming with high level business people there, and to see how to connect Morocco as a gate with Tangier, with Casablanca, as a gate to Africa and to Europe um, in the same breath, because the location of Morocco, of Tangier, is critical for the trade all over the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. So I spoke with Doug about the situation right now, and we would like to offer our services around the Middle East to the US. We work with US companies, of course, US companies that located, some of their offices located in the Arab countries, and we give them services as suppliers and as an agent, sorry. And we would like very much to assist and to be involved as much as we can, so the trade will continue. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Izzy. Please put your information in the chat. Thank you for your leadership, and you've been always so innovative and creative, both you and your better half. And so, thank you for sharing and being part of Global Chamber. Mike Patterson, you probably met Izzy when he was in Arizona. I'm not sure. You guys met, right?
Yes, we met.
Let me get out. There we go. Off mute. Yes, Izzy, I met you. Pleased to meet you again today. And
Mike, I know you have
My pleasure.
that you need to run to. Did you want to share a couple things with the group about what's going on? Mike lived 10 years in Mexico, but he's based in Phoenix, Arizona with Spencer Fain. We haven't announced it yet formally, but Spencer Fain just invested in becoming a visionary sponsor for Global Chamber so that all 33 offices now will be able to benefit from Global Chamber. Mike is the best. There's nobody better in terms of, lawyers are great. Certainly all the ones that are part of Global Chamber. And, we don't play favorites, but we also recognize that Mike not only is a great lawyer, but he's just an amazing person. And he was there with us when we formed 11 years ago at City Hall with Mayor Stanton. He stuck with us all these years through two different law firms, certainly Spencer Fain being the better one of those. And Mike is very global, and he's very helpful for companies landing in the US. Mike, anything you would like to share?
Yes, just really excited about that. Yesterday and the day before, I was in Houston with our market teams. I'm the head of the international market team. We're 700 lawyers in 33 cities, and I lead the international for them. Doug, I just found out that we have two new lawyers, one in Chicago and one in DC, who have formed a Japanese market team, and I need to introduce them to you. They give presentations in Japanese, and I said, "Oh gosh, you really need to connect with Doug Brunke." And so because they'll be one of our first rollouts, and they're also doing Europe, but with me. So that's fun. I have had a bill for you. I'm on the District Export Council, and I've had just a rash, as I'm sure as you have, of people asking me, how do I get my refund for tariffs and things like that? And I'm working with another outside firm that is a specialty tariff firm on the gnarly ones, and then I work on the easy ones. I try to handle myself, so working on trade issues with them and planning on how they have their company structure as they come into the U.S. We have a lot of inbound bio, health tech, medical device companies headed this direction. And then, in fact, I have two new Taiwanese clients and another one from, always have them inbound from Canada and from Latin America. I speak Spanish. I lived in Latin America 10 years. And I'm having a Bangladesh briefing for the U.S. Commercial Service in our office next week. I don't know if I've invited you yet to that, Doug, if you're around, but the head of the U.S. Commercial Service from Bangladesh is in town and doing that one. We just had 10 very large mining companies from Peru on Tuesday that we hosted and gave a coordination with mining companies. And I mean, mining isn't my big be all and end all, but I have worked for 2 years now, and we've just nailed down for October 5th to 9th in Mexico City to meet with 150 mining companies there, with Dr. Rubio, Doug, who is our member there of the Canada Arizona Business Council. We're taking the Toronto Stock Exchange with us to tell them, hey, why don't you all come get listed on TSX? We're taking the pension funds out of Canada, and it's a delicate thing, but right now there's some delicate feelings in Mexico and in Canada about, with the USMCA renewal coming up and some of the harsh words that have been said. It is seemingly more welcome to hear the Canadian companies, Stantec, EPCOR, Nordistello, Hudbay, Freeport, and Logistec, to hear them all say, hey, we're not really from the US, we're from Canada. And so, but we're here and we'd like to work with you on the mining piece. So that's a separate thing. You know what? We do whatever you have to do to see business and transactions happen. I do distribution agreements or cross-border MOUs and LOIs, and whatever it is, we'll work out the legal relationship to help keep business moving, no matter how small, no matter how big. I love to work with it. So I love the Global Chamber, and I am so excited, Doug, that we're now going to go office by office, and you and I are going to talk later today about how to roll out, office by office by office, the people who are interested in international and what their particular area of the world is, and getting busy. The Japanese lady in Washington, D.C., she went berserk when she looked up your site and saw 8 offices in Japan and said, "Oh, it's not just Tokyo." It's so she's all over it.
Fantastic. I tried to promote Andrew Waigala, who's the CEO of the Japan America Societies. Love working with you, Andrew. I'm presuming that maybe you're not able to speak, or are you able to speak? Oh, you are. How are you?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to join, and I wanted to say thanks to Doug for the inclusion, and I'm very excited to hear from Michael about that connection because I'm in DC, and my organization is an umbrella group of now 40 Japan America societies across the US and a little snippet of Ontario. And while we are not, by any sense, a purely commercial oriented group, we have a big piece of that. A lot of it connects with the inbound activity of our number one foreign investor, Japan. But happy to be in this group and would love to be a resource where I can, because I've been benefiting greatly from connections through Mijong and Doug and want to keep that going.
And what was you have 40 members in the US, basically cities. And remind me, what was number 40 again?
San Diego.
Oh, I thought Phoenix was 40. Sorry about
that. Okay. No, Phoenix was earlier. Phoenix has been on board now a good couple of years, and we enjoy working with them. And now we're excited. I just want to, there's a lot of Californians out there, including Bill up the way, to give a shout out to this new group. There's been a San Diego, Japan American Society, San Diego, Tijuana. But with personnel changes, that wrapped up, and a new group has just launched. And they're very vigorous, very enthused, and they began with an agro-industry talk last month that I joined. And they're tied up with the San Diego Japanese Business Association and are just happy to be part of the community. So keep an eye out for them, please.
We're looking forward to working with them. And I think, is that the same group as Eduardo got connected to, Eduardo Gonzalez, or was that the previous group?
The new groups. Thank you for the Eduardo tie.
Okay, super. Yeah, Eduardo is, I think, driving actually to San Diego from Phoenix today. So he's not probably available to be here. I don't see him. But thank you, Andrew, for your collaboration and leadership very much. Canada and Japan were both mentioned. And when I think of Japan and Canada, I think of Tomoko King. You know, she's someone that I've actually been able to meet personally, but she's a dynamic force of nature, connecting Japan and Canada and just helping companies based out of Toronto to be successful, and companies landing in Arizona, and not just Toronto, but the region. Tomoko, do you have anything to share? You've always got your hands full with so many different things.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Doug, for your warm introduction. If okay, am I able to share my couple of slides I prepared?
Sure, yeah.
Let's see if I can. Can you see my slide?
The magic is happening, and it has happened. Canada, Japan.
Okay, yeah. Just a few slides because people always like seeing some pictures. So my name is Tomoko King. I'm based in the Waterloo region, Ontario, Canada. So it's 10:30 in the morning here. I know a lot of you in different time zones. Thanks for the opportunity to talk. Born in Canada, raised in Osaka, Japan, and been in Canada, this area, Ontario, for about 30 years. And wanted to share that Canada-Japan diplomatic relationship is reaching almost 100 years. In 2028, it'll be 100 years. And I feel like I've lived this relationship all my life. Just to clarify, I'm not saying I'm 100 years old. I'm just saying it. Actually, fun fact, speaking of which, Japan, as September 2025 stats, show that almost 100,000 people are over 100 years old.
Oh my.
Yeah, 99,763 people as of September 2025 were over 100 years old in Japan. And even better, 88% of them were women. So I may actually have some chance to continue this work for another 50 years.
I hope so.
And I had recently attended a Canada-Japan bilateral summit that the Japan Society in Toronto had hosted. And Ambassador Ian MacKay had spoke a lot about trade partnership between the two countries. And I won't go through all of it. That's why I wanted to just show some visual. But basically, very strong trade relationship, bilateral, focusing on trade, energy, defense, security, agri-food, and having this comprehensive, progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership is the advantage between the two countries. Now, this momentum keeps getting stronger. Prime Minister Mark Carney had visited Japan just last month and met with Sanae Takaichi, our first female prime minister in Japan, and they had lots of some friendlyship, fun time, but also signed this comprehensive strategic partnership and committed to bilateral trade specifically around these areas: defense, economic security, energy, technology, and trade. And this strategic partnership is now translated into action. There is a Team Canada trade mission trip to Japan in about 2 months from now in Tokyo, and focusing on specifically these sectors: defense, security, aerospace, advanced manufacturing, ICT, AI, clean tech, forestry, agriculture, food, and so on. I happen to be in Tokyo that time, so I'm hoping to be able to kind of peek to see what's going on while I'm there. But I wanted to kind of share also my personal observation and perspective. I've noticed over the last couple months, every time, very consistently, when I speak with Japanese professionals, individuals, they tend to see North America as one block. Some of you who speak to Japanese people may have that same observation. They tend to think North America, so the United States, Canada, Mexico, kind of all one. And they were very surprised when they hear different law, different policies exist, even among, United States, from state to state, Canada, province to province, you have some differences. They're very surprised. And I think it's because Japan is an independent or island national. So when they see landmass connected between Canada and Japan, US and Mexico, they tend to think it's one big nation almost. So I have been making a point of explaining the differences, and being in Canadian and in Canada, promoting these differences. But personally, I'm operating out of Waterloo region in Ontario, which is about an hour and a half drive east of Toronto. Sorry, west of Toronto. And it's also close to Niagara Falls, just so that you get kind of a geographic concept. And I'm also promoting my hometown, Osaka, because the default and traditional gateway is big cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Tokyo. And I'm trying to promote slightly untraditional pathway or gateway by promoting these two that belong really close to my heart. And surprisingly, these two places that I'm promoting have a lot of common things and share strength. Both have strong universities, R&D, innovation, tech startups, and vibrant community. So I do see potential for the two regions to work together and come up with some collaborative ideas. And I'm heading for Japan mid-May, and I'm there for 6 weeks for business development as well as visiting my family. And I have family in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and Shikoku. So I'll be sort of all over the place. And also promoting and organizing a couple of events while I'm there, gathering people in Osaka and introducing about the region that I work in. So hopefully, if some of you are going to be in Japan, please message me. We can meet up. I'll be in those places. Um, and love to connect. I will drop my LinkedIn as well. I wanted to also say that, as Doug mentioned earlier, some people accidentally start trade, and I could be one of them. I have, 25 years cross-sector working experience here in Canada, private sector, public sector, nonprofits, and higher education, including 17 years working in Toyota's Canadian operation here, bridging the headquarters Japan and local teams. But recently decided to package this experience as well as my lived experience in both countries and working on cross-cultural alignment and helping bilateral market entry and relationship. But I really didn't realize that is considered trade, because we tend to think trade as mostly tangible products that you see, that you ship, export, and import. And I'm really learning that services that you offer cross border is considered trade. So I'm in the learning stages and really, really loving what I'm hearing here and connecting with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomoko. And thank you for really a great contextual cross-border perspective that you've been developing over the months. Thank you for your support and collaboration and membership in Global Chamber, including bringing in, some resources from Japan to Global Chamber. Thank you. We only have about 15 minutes, and we have 4 more speakers, and so we're going to probably not have a lot of time for Q&A or interaction between all of us. So I just ask for the rest of the speakers to be able to be fairly concise. I also I'm playing a little bit with the attendee versus panelist, at least on my screen, because I guess I'm an administrator. I can see both sides of it, and so I've tried to upgrade the members that I know who are on the attendee side to panelists. Not all of you accepted, which I probably presume, like with Elizabeth or Demetris, probably both of you are not available to speak, and Stephanie as well, and Andrew, I'd seen that too. So no worries, but I'd like to circle back with you to understand what happened when you saw that and how that interaction went for you as well. Let's continue to go a little bit west. You mentioned about Waterloo being west of Toronto. Just a little bit further west is Alberta, actually quite a bit further west. And that's Barbara McKenzie, Executive Director for Global Chamber there. And she's got a big event coming up on June 8th. Barbara, thank you for your leadership. Let us know more about what you're seeing and what's happening June 8th.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Glad to be here. Yeah, so Alberta, West Coast almost. No ocean view, but Rockies view most of the time, just above Montana. We're pretty much known for oil and gas here, but there's so much happening in Alberta. And obviously Canada at this time is a very interesting market. Our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has set out and said, middle powers need to start stepping up right now. And we're looking to broaden our markets. For decades, we've traditionally traded significantly with the US, and that is obviously with CUSMA new renegotiations, not the streamlined process that it once was. But what people don't know is that from Canada's standpoint, we have the most bilateral trade agreements or free trade agreements with other countries in the G20. So the ability to trade with many, many countries here is pretty significant. You mentioned, Michael, Stantec, PCL. Those companies are headquartered right here in Edmonton, Alberta, which is where I'm based. Born and bred Canadian companies that have managed to go global in really significant ways, as well as many of the other probably energy companies you would all know as well. But that's not the only thing we're focused on here. Energy holistically, so hydrogen, clean energy are things that we're looking at. We have a deep forestry industry here, as well as significant agriculture. We have Stephanie Gross here as one of our members, and she's deeply immersed in that agriculture space. We have AI and defense as well. Alberta and Edmonton is number 3 in the globe for AI research and has one of the biggest AI institutes globally here. And massive manufacturer capacity and capability that gives us a real head start and line on the new defense spending that's happening. And that's Canada-focused defense spending, which is a very significant shift from what we've seen in the past. So it's going to be very interesting times here. Obviously, global energy prices have really significantly impacted what's going on. For the most part, Canada can be pretty energy independent, except Quebec refuses to use Western Canadian oil, but that's a whole nother part. And they're the ones that are importing Saudi oil, but we really have less energy independence. But those global energy prices are lifting our energy price, which then gives us those commodity prices, help us lift our economy as well. So lots going on. June 8th, we have our launch event for the Alberta chapter. So we're a small market, 40 million people in total in Canada, 5 million in Alberta. So our chapter includes our 2 major municipalities, Edmonton and Calgary, and all of our rural municipalities. So a full Alberta chapter. It is a virtual event. Everyone is invited. It is up on the calendar. We're hoping to get lots of attendees there from Edmonton, Calgary, all over Alberta, as well as lots of our other global chamber members. We've invited specifically some members for areas that we have trade agreements with to introduce Albertans and the possibilities to that. So exciting times here, lots of opportunities that we're looking at. And looking forward to continuing to engage with Global Chamber as we build on what's happening. Thanks, Doug.
Great progress. Thank you, Barbara. Jevon Hodge, are you there? Are you available to speak? I'm not able to spotlight you because you're not showing, but Jevon is a global mover and shaker, globally iconic, and he's always on the move. I don't know anybody more on the move than Jevon, a leader on the Festival of the Diaspora as well, the very successful one. I see that you're there. How are you, Jevon? What's the good word?
I'm doing well, Doug, and I am literally on the move at the Mexican consulate, swinging for Mexico's golf tournament this morning. And so proud to support my good friend Jorge and all the great work that they're doing between Mexican and the Mexican-American relations. Thank you, Doug, for having us. I'm Jevon Hodge, President, Founder, and CEO of Amplify Global Impact Group. We are a global consulting firm focused on connection problem havers and problem solvers. Public affairs, strategic communication, impact strategy is what we do. 2 things I want to highlight here today. Coming out of the former lawmaker as well, among a number of other things. But coming out of Semicon, the Global Chamber hosted an incredible event. And one of the direct takeaways that we had coming out of that event was a working group with Senator Mark Kelly's office. That working group is in progress. We're in the final stages of getting that off the ground. Unfortunately, we're moving at the speed of government. And as it has been highlighted on this earlier, there's a war and gas prices and all that other stuff that the Senator has been focused on. But we have his 2 top officials in the state working on it with us to get that off the ground. So as soon as that is launched, we will, Doug and I will make sure that communication is sent to our membership so that we can get that information out there so we can get work going. And the purpose of it is how can we leverage AI and how can we increase work productivity, partnerships, and workflow with the semiconductor community here in Arizona, globally, and abroad. And the second thing that I want to highlight today, and I'll keep it short, I know we have just a few more minutes, is following another event after Semicon hosted by the Global Chamber of Commerce. I hosted a pitch competition with the Sustainable Impact Capital, which is the largest impact investor network in Taiwan. As a result of that event, we will be hosting a business delegation heading to Taiwan here in the fall. The dates are being finalized. We're looking at the last week of September right now. This group will include folks that want to increase business relationships with the Taiwanese trade, the semiconductor community, and folks that are doing work in Arizona and around the country. On this trip, we'll meet with government officials in Taipei. We'll head down to Honshu. We'll meet with government leaders. We'll meet with university leaders, startup leaders, and then do a comprehensive deep dive in the semiconductor community with TSMC there, in addition to touring the industrial sector as well. And so if you're interested in that, I dropped my email in the chat. I'll drop it in there again, and I'll drop my LinkedIn. Please send me a note. Or send Doug a note. Doug, I'm volunteering you. And we will make sure we get all the information. But I just want to say it has been a pleasure listening in here today. You all are some incredible leaders. And in the words of Doug Brunke, let's go be unstoppable.
Global and unstoppable. Thank you. And by the way, he is not driving that golf cart in Edmonton today. That is definitely in Phoenix. Thank you. Let's continue to go actually to a little bit further north also, Warren Ragland. I think you're in Detroit, right, Warren? With Amelie. Where are you located?
That's probably my cousin. I'm in Chicago, so close.
Oh, in Chicago. Okay,
yeah.
I got you. I knew it was somewhere a little bit further north. Hopefully, no snow. We at least wanted to hear a little bit about Amelie with trade compliance, or just at least introduce yourself. You're new to the firm has been around for a while, but you personally are new. I guess you found out about Global Chamber through your comrades there within the firm.
Correct.
Welcome. We welcome.
Correct.
Anything you'd like to share based on what you heard today?
Yeah, I'll be real quick. So I've been with Amali for 2 years. I found out about Global Chamber and was happy to connect. Happy to help with anything in Chicago or in the area. Amali Trade Compliance Consulting, we pretty much specialize in providing a different type of consulting where we give practical program-based solutions. We're based in the U.S. all over, and we also have a presence now in the Philippines. Some key observations just from the global trade standpoint, just to be quick. Enforcement is picking up. It looks like interagency enforcement is happening more, where the State Department is getting involved with the Commerce Department and they're bringing in other different agencies. Penalties are increasing. And if you look at the BIS 2027 fiscal year budget request, it looks like they want to double the amount of funding towards enforcement agencies. So if you look at the current fines that are public, some of them have large $300 million, $275 million fines, right? And then you look at the direction of increasing the amount of enforcement throughout these departments, you can kind of see where the administration is going as far as export control. So to double back, a bit of a background about myself, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade from Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been in global trade compliance for 15 years. I specialize in export control. I also do import compliance as well. So sanctions, tariffs, classification. So yeah, that's my tidbit for my Cliff Note version.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Warren. And we'll definitely get you connected to Demetris Evans from Global Chamber Chicago and have some fun conversations there. Well, last but not least, only 3 minutes left, Ozga. Sorry about that. Ozga zooming in from Turkey, so we're not going to be able to probably do as much as we wanted to do in terms of her update. One of the things that's impressed me so much about Ozga is her knowledge about the world and her ability, like what Bill Edwards does at the beginning of this program, to be able to evaluate what's going on and how you strategically can maneuver the world. So thank you so much. What would you like to do, given I think you probably have more than 3 minutes of content?
Yes, so let me, first of all, thank you very much, Doug, and the Global Chamber. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. I have maybe 10 minutes of presentation. I reduce it from 30-minute presentation. What I can do is I can share this presentation with you so that you can share with the network, and we can talk about there's a macro view, business impact, disruptions and detours, and finance role in this environment. So maybe I can start. If it is not finished, we can share or we can continue in other meetings. This is Özge Tekalp. I am a digital transformation and customer experience leader and expert. I am a connector in Sprit, and that's why I am here. So basically, what is happening is that there are 3 shifts. This presentation was made to a Singapore event, and I've seen that there are some good feedback, and all of us have emphasized the 3 shifts every trader must understand. First of all, there is the globalization. Trade to GDP ratio declined since 2008 from its peak of 61%. And so that's why for traders, supply chains are shortening and not disappearing. So proximity, trust, and compliance matter more than pure cost. So this China plus one playbook is now universal. And I believe that with you and your team is doing a phenomenal job to help traders in this domain. And another thing that we are seeing is that because this presentation was prepared for finance people, CFO, so we discussed about the FX and dollar hegemony is shifting. So global FX reserves in US dollars are down from 73% in 2001 to 57%. So like BRICS now represents 40% of global GDP. Saudi Arabia involves Chinese oil in renminbi, so these are the facts. For traders, diversifying our payment currency exposure, letter of credit and open account terms are under review. So this is another area. So another thing that we see is that technological sovereignty. So U.S. Chips Acts, U.S. European Act, these are all available. So I want to go to another slide. There as global trade restrictive measures. There is a rise. These are the global trade restrictive measures. So when we see there is 600% rise in trade restriction measures. So this needs us. That's why all of you are doing great job in this navigation. So there is a real reason why you can help your customers, and Global Chamber is important because all of it is making trade more difficult. Everyone needs to be more knowledgeable and needs expertise. Another thing is this energy price shock. So after the wars, this is what we are seeing. So basically, this is, we can see that after Hormuz closure, oil price went up, and there is another European natural gas. Of course, we are seeing the impact of Ukrainian war. So this is some numbers. Because of the time, I will not go into details, but these are all the possible spending, like export pipeline, increase in NATO defense spending, increasing in energy costs in Europe, and there is also Trans-Caspian Middle Corridor volume growth. So these are some numbers that all of us should maybe know. These are the impacts of the disruptions and detours. There's Red Sea crisis, 75% drop in Suez Canal transits, but we are seeing increase in the Cape of Good Hope. However, these are causing the costs to go up. And in this one, there is like supply chains, cost structures, and demand. So what is permanent for each supply chain resilience, input cost structure, demand patterns, working capital? What is the trend? What is the key data? And what we need to do is another, it will take another 5 minutes. So I will skip that, but I can share this presentation with anyone interested. So I want to concentrate. All of us are managing our companies, businesses, and finance is important. So this was made for CFOs. What we are changing is that as leaders, whether we are CFOs or have another hat in managing our businesses, it is changing. So this I want to mention, and this requires a lot of skill. So in 1980s to 2000, the CFOs were more scorekeepers in accounting accuracy, audit compliance, cost control, backward-looking, serving the board. Between 2000 and 2015, the role changed to be a business partner, like strategic advisory to business units, data-driven decision support. And between 2015 and 2022, it's more like risk manager, COVID exposed gaps. CFOs became the last line of liquidity defense, and cash is strategy. Between 2022 and 2025, it was a resilience architect, war economics, supply chain finance, scenario-based P&L, treasury as strategic function. And as we go forward, it's like more like geopolitical strategists, geo-risk modeling, technology sovereignty costs, dual P&L design, and so CFO is CRO plus CSO plus chief resilience officers. So that's why we need new skills, new board metrics, and research backing. So here, these are the 5 takeaways how we can navigate through these times. Is that auditing our tariff exposure and agreement compliance, diversifying suppliers. This also are causing some opportunities, are evaluating some opportunities, because there is like diversification needed from all companies, and rerouting and repricing our freight strategy, upgrading our trade finance risk stack, and activating our global tribe intelligence network, where I am very thankful for Global Chamber. And I wanted to ask questions, and this picture, I like it. I had seen it in London, and peace at home, peace in the world. And I would like to give the floor to you for questions. I ran through the presentation to keep to the time restriction.
Thank you, Oska. I'm sorry that we put you in that position. We definitely we want to go deeper on this, because I thought that was great on the bookending of Bill Edwards and his biweekly and his knowledge of the world, and then you taking from your perspective from Istanbul, giving us I think a very complimentary conversation. So in between, we had a lot of great conversation. I hope you all enjoyed this meeting today. I'd like to highlight 5 events that are coming up going forward. On May 5th, which is next Tuesday at Select USA. Global Chamber has, we always have a side event at Select USA. So Mijang Hibbets, our Global Chamber Baltimore, Washington leader, is there, and she'll be meeting a group of Global Chamber members and bringing them all together Tuesday afternoon. May 7th, Bill Edwards, the World Trade Week, Orange County. If you're in Southern California or you have the ability to fly to Southern California, please join us there. I'm looking forward to that. It was my first one to attend last year. We've been supporting it for a number of years. It's the 12th annual, and it's amazing. It's really worth attending. On the 20th, our Real Estate, Economic Development, and Business Triangle within Global Chamber resumes with some spectacular weekly meetings scheduled, and the next one is May 20th. Definitely check that out. Jim Huang, who's on our global board, has been a visionary around pulling together that triangle: business, economic development, and commercial real estate, and having Global Chamber be the center point of that globally. And so we're going to be having 4 speakers that day. You don't want to miss it. May 20th, Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And then the USMCA conversation, part 2. We heard a lot from Canada today, which we should. The country, I think, ultimately is going to benefit from the rudeness by the United States, because they've been so dependent on the U.S. for trade. Now they're looking to foreign markets, and that's ultimately going to be a really good thing for Canada. And so let's talk about that and USMCA on the 21st of May. And then finally, the penultimate event, May 28th, with Dr. Kagram, with Francis Tesmer. You don't want to miss that one. 2-hour special Globinar at Global Chamber World Trade Month. We actually have 8 World Trade Months ready to queue up for the next 8 months. So unusual that because we are global after all and everywhere, we have 8 regions of the world that we operate, 605 chapters. Those 8 regions will each be spotlighted for the remainder of the year. North America will be starting today for May. Thanks, everybody, for how amazing you are. Thank you for your support and collaboration. If you're a member of Global Chamber, thank you. Continue to be global and unstoppable. If you're not a member yet, hey, let's get you in. Let's have some fun. Let's grow your business and let's grow the world, because at the end of the day, our focus is making connections and improving prosperity of individuals and leaders and companies. But at the end of the day, when we talk to each other and we trade and we negotiate and we mediate, we recognize that we are a global tribe. We are one common people. And that is a good thing in this world of wars and people yelling at each other and all caps and exclamation points. Having conversations that are mindful and respectful and impactful are important, whether they're from the golf course or whether they're from our desk or whether they're wherever we are. Let's be global and unstoppable. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Michael,
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you. Thank you. I am looking at some